I've started a new notebook and I'm calling it Creative Methods for Teaching Mathematical Sciences in a Diverse Classroom. The first thing I'm going to do is to search the web for new sources. And I'm going to just click on that and say Add Sources. And here it says search the web for new sources. Please find me sources on creative methods for teaching mathematical sciences in a diverse classroom in a rural area in the global south. And then I'm just going to ask it to look for resources. Now it's going to go and it's going to find us some resources on the web. And here they are: harnessing indigenous knowledge for teaching mathematics, culture responsible pedagogy. Indigenization is a pedagogical approach. And I'm going to import all of those because I like them. And now we're going to see which sources we can use. This is really brilliant resources, hands-on activities, harnessing indigenous knowledge, all of that. And here it's going to give me a summary now of all the resources that it's found there. It takes a student-centered methodology, language experience approach, reading and writing skill, personal narratives, etc., etc. So I'm going to keep all of those, and now I just want to have a look at what the literature actually looks like. What does the field look like? I'm going to ask it to make me a mind map of these 10 sources. Let me just wait a bit and just see up front what the field looks like. And here it is, hands-on activities resource manual. So there's the literacy approach, the mathematics approach, the science approach, and there are implementation strategies. I really like that it starts with various approaches. Now let's look. Language experience approach, and here are student-centered materials, personal experiences, key literacy activities that one can do: alphabet chart, word bingo, matching memory game, crossing name pose, books, pen pals, and story pyramids. Then the mathematics approach, foundational concepts, which is daily calendar for counting collections, measuring with string and stones, operations in geometry, egg carton multiplication, targeted addition game, paper word fractions, geography, shopping, maths, geometry, boards, tangram shapes. There's also the science approach, life science, physical and earth sciences. So they're potato mix, seed sorting, 4 food groups, growing beans in a bag, physical sciences, bubbles, soil erosion, parachute float, rolling contest, and then finally implementation strategy, student-centered methodology, cultural adaptation, local material innovation. I'm going to say good content here. It's factually correct, it's easy to understand, it's informative, it's creative and interesting. And I'm going to go submit. And so now I'm contributing to making this thing a little bit better. Then I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to ask it to write me a little report on this. What will we do? How will we do it? As a study guide? No, I just want this briefing document. From the sources, start with a concise executive summary. It presents most key takeaways. Write a report following the format of the mind map you just created. And I'm going to say generate. And while it's generating the report, I'm going to say I want a detailed deck with full text and details. I want it in English. And then I'm going to say your exact instructions that you gave me. Please make a slide deck to share with educators best practices in teaching mathematical sciences in a diverse classrooms in rural areas in the Global South and explore new approaches to teaching and learning. And I'm going to ask it to generate the slideshow. Meanwhile, I'm going to look at the technical report. Rigorous field of pivot from memorization from student-centered methodologies. Developed areas, direct USAID fund mission, history of this resource, core pedagogical framework. There it talks about the language experience approach, focus in, and then what is the language experience approach, how to start with it, modeling fluency, strategic literacy interventions from alphabetic knowledge. Here we get nice things. Activity, quantitative reasoning. Yeah, this is nice. Daily calendar, how that works. So here is a whole lesson about how to do this sort of thing. And we're still waiting for it to generate the slide deck. Okay, so there it's made the slideshow for us. Let's have a quick look at what the slideshow looks like. And this is quite nice. It has the feeling for bridging storytelling and hands-on learning with formal mathematical systems. And it just has, this is a sort of an opening screen, I'm guessing. And let's just play the slideshow. There we go to the next one. Gives the background. Look at this, how nice. Multigrade classroom, severe resource, home knowledge, intuitive counting. And the result is, there is the problem statement and epistemological dissonance and rote fatigue. And school mathematics is decontextualized, curricular, abstract, rote memorization. This is what the rote model looks like, and this is what the culturally integrated storytelling and narrative context. And he talks about language development, general funds of knowledge, gestures, language development, multiple representations. And let's go on. Here he talks about, in practice, geometry in the local environment, conical shapes, angle calculation, cylindrical forms, social traditions, symmetry, beautiful stuff. Here it tells us the children have deep, natural, intuitive math skills. Curriculum fails when it doesn't connect these instincts. Beautiful. So this is intuitive mathematics and this is formal mathematics, and you need games to transition from the one to the other. And here are examples: painted beans, market price list, bottle caps, string and twine, pre-training, introduction, demonstration, teacher models, guided practice, and then independent play and mixed ability. There's the whole thing about context, sympathetic imagination, and reduced anxiety, context of the story, and there's mathematics translation. Story creates the need for the math. So you tell the story, and then the student has to do now. We look at the Diketo game, which helps with counting. There's rope counting, which is rhythm, period calculation in a geographic shape. The language experience approach, mother tongue peer discussion, scripture gestures, translating concepts. And here we have the story, we have the peer groups, we have transition game, we have local artifacts. True mathematical decolonization does not mean abandoning global standards, means recognizing that local environment is already inherently mathematical by leveraging cultural artifacts, bridging games, narrative storytelling, and peer collaboration and mathematical thinking. And it would seem to me that this is the end of the slideshow because it's not going further anymore. Yes, there, 15 slides. So that can be somewhere between 7 minutes and half an hour, depending on how much detail you want to do with that. And so there's the slideshow for you. And let's recap quickly what we did. We uploaded, by going search the web for new sources, we uploaded a number of papers. Then we created a mind map of those papers just to make sure that it gives us the sort of thing that we want. We asked it to give us a technical report so that we could be sure again that we are satisfied and that these are the sort of things that we as an expert would have wanted to see. And then finally, we ask that the slide deck, there are all sorts of other things that we might want to do. But for the purposes of this, we're just also going to do a little video overview. Ask it to make us a little video. We wanted to give us an explainer video. So it's going to be quite a long video. Let's look what type of background we're going to use. I rather like papercraft, or we go custom, use a background that is appropriate to the content. And what I'm going to do is have a look. You gave me again for grade 4 to 7 mathematical science teachers to share best practices and explore new approaches to teaching and learning in mathematical sciences in diverse rural schools in the global south. And I'm going to say generate, and then let's see what happens. So it's made a movie. Let's go and have a look at the movie that it made.
Hey there. If you're teaching math in a rural school, you know exactly what the challenges are, right? Well, you're in the right place. We're not just going to talk about the problems today. Instead, we're going to get into some real, practical strategies, ways to build a bridge between your students' world and the world of math. So let's jump right in. Okay, first things first.
So
let's start with a number.
8-minute
and
video.
honestly, it's a pretty
And
shocking
you
one.
can watch that
70%.
yourself. I'm just
According to UNESCO, that's the
putting
number
it
of
up there. I'm
10-year-olds
going
in
to